don't say that.
I'm doing you a favor, you know? Did they lick your eyeballs?
Who licked someone's eyeball?
That happens.
What?
I think it's just really hard dating a Gogo Boy.
Or
The part where it goes beep.
I like to
Okay.
Clack, 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 clack. I have fans if you want to clap them a little bit. People would like sign right off. They would click and they'd click right off. Can you imagine? Yeah.
It's just so
Come
nice.
by.
Come by.
Come by.
Hi, Tokyo Tops.
Hi, Tokyo Verse.
We have Sai here with us today.
Hello.
You probably saw him in our last episode that we reviewed, The Boyfriend, episode 10. But we have you here on this episode now to get to know a little bit about you. A little bit more. I'm sure actually everyone already knows you.
No.
Stalking you online, seeing all your sexy
No, but we are reaching to
Instagram.
the Obey market, you know?
Oh,
This is the market
this is
that
the
I'm
market
not
you're not a part of? Okay. So we'll just throw some thirst trap pictures here just to get you started.
My name is Sai, and I'm a Gogo Boy here in Tokyo. I debuted about 2.5 years ago. I am Japanese, was born here in Chiba actually, but I was raised in the US with an American background. So even though I'm Japanese by blood and by heritage, culturally I would say I'm more Western, more American. And I moved back here to Japan about 7 years ago for work, and have enjoyed my time since. I think I met you guys, what, like 5 years ago?
5 years ago, maybe? It was right around the time we started the channel.
Oh my god. You guys had a Tinder match.
We
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. We did.
There was a Pride walk? No, Black Lives Matter march? There was
Okay.
a march where we saw each other at Yoyogi Park, and I remember your face from the Tinder match, and I like, wait,
Wow.
do you remember that?
I see,
There
so-
was a march. Was it a Black Lives Matter march?
So why didn't we message each other?
We did talk on Tinder.
I don't think we
We
did.
had a conversation. Yes, we did. We had messages and conversations, but no plans of ever meeting ever happened.
And then somehow, I guess we ran into each other later.
Later,
Different-
I saw you for the first time face to face at that march because I remember I recognized your face. And I like waved.
So Sai is, as he mentioned, that like he's a famous Gogo Boy right
Yes.
now. I think he's one of the top.
Yes, top tier.
One of the
I
top.
don't
You
know
are like
about
the
that,
face
but
of
I
you are.
appreciate that.
You are like the G by 3. No, 9mon.
Yes, I was
Ambassador, right?
I was the 9
9-1
model / ambassador 2023.
Yeah.
And I do frequently model for G by
by
3
3.
a lot.
Yeah.
So how did even happen? Like, did you get approached by organizers? What?
When I first moved here, I wanted to be active in the gay scene and wanted to, meet lots of new people and make a community. So I would go out to the events a lot. And then some point or another, an organizer just messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hi, my name is so-and-so and I am the organizer for this event. Have you ever considered Go-going?" And I was like, no. I mean, I know what Go-go's are because I've been to the events.
Yeah.
But no, I've never considered it. And he was like, "Would you like to try? I'm willing to hope. I have this thing this upcoming month." And I said, "Sure." And then literally started from there.
Interesting.
I know several other Go-Go boys who they get their start by like working as a shop boy first, and then a door boy, and then kind of
A door boy.
Well, I
door
think-
boy. They
I think
could, like
Yuki-
collect tips.
Yuki was a door boy.
and stuff, and then a shop boy,
Yeah.
and then walk around selling tequila shots, and
Yeah.
they kind of work their way
Yeah.
up in the scene. I've seen several people who just actively post on their social media like, "Hey,
I'm
wanna be a
available."
I want to be a Go-Go boy."
So you were saying like how like each like they started as a drink boy. What's the name?
Door boy.
Door
Boy or
boy.
a shop boy or
So
something.
how did you climb your way up?
Well, I mean, I never had that experience as a door shop boy. Like I said, I was kind of
you
this
just
message
got
from
great
Instagram.
on from that from number. Okay, all right.
I said that's just one of the entryways. There are various entryways into the go-go world, right? Some people get scouted. Some people just announce that they want to be a go-go boy, and it's like, I want to start, and they go and do their own networking, go to events and talk to organizers and be like, hi, I'm interested. And kind of word spreads. There are some that start as back dancers. There was a go-go boy who debuted yesterday who started as a back dancer for many different events. And then he just debuted as a go-go boy. And then some do the shop boy, tequila boy, door boy kind of route. So there's a lot of different ways one can become a go-go boy. Anyone who's interested, in becoming a go-go boy, I would just recommend you make yourself visible in the scene with the different organizers.
I think you should hit the gym. That's it.
Yeah.
So obviously there is a certain look requirement to be a go-go boy, but it doesn't necessarily. I don't necessarily think you have to be jacked with nice pecs and a six-pack to necessarily be a go-go.
That's right, because I think Japan's a little bit special because they like GMPD. Japan's go-go boy scene is a little bit more diverse because they don't only want super jacked dudes. They also want a little bit some people with a little more fat, a little
bit chubby, a little bit. We also have barricade go-go boys. We have a lot of diversity when it comes to body types, I think. And maybe there's not a whole bunch of skinny ones, but there are some skinny ones. But one thing that we don't have a whole bunch of, maybe racial diversity.
Yeah, there's not a lot of racial diversity for
it's
sure.
Usually Asian.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think that I wouldn't necessarily go so far to say it's changing because I don't think it's changed yet. But I do see there are attempts to create some more diversity that way for certain shows. But I think the traction, it's limited, so we'll have to see how that goes. So if I just want to be a go-go boy, I just need to start. Maybe I should just advertise it right now. DM me. give me. Get opportunity. Yeah, I'll be on a box. I can move. I can move.
Kawaii kedo. Oh my god.
I think it'd be really cute.
What are some of the struggles working as a Japanese-American guy in a Japanese go-go scene?
So the biggest struggle obviously was the language barrier when I first started. When I first received the offer as a go-go, I told him my Japanese is not that great. I don't know how you want me to interact with people and make fans and interact with customers who are all Japanese. And the guy who wanted to debut me said, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're cute, you're attractive. You just have to smile.
Just
Little Mermaid, it's all about body language.
No, just be like Avril Lavigne, Minna saiko arigato. Kawaii. That's all you need to know.
I mean, I think that's great for when you first start, is you can rely on your cuteness and your sexiness and your just your appearance in general. But if you want to genuinely grow, the interaction becomes a key part in maintaining your popularity, and being able to interact with guests and build a fan base is a key component. So Japanese language barrier was one of the big ones. Other one is just a cultural thing. Like I said, culturally I am much more American. And a lot of the organizers and my fellow go-go boys are culturally very Japanese. There are certain cultural aspects that I'm not necessarily accustomed to or necessarily follow. There's senpai, kohai culture that's involved.
Can it be the kohai cannot outshine the senpai? What's the give us an example?
What's a faux pas that you made, if you can think of? Remember one?
So combining those two things, where it's you should always speak with your senpai in very keigo and very polite, and I don't know keigo. I don't speak keigo. But as a Japanese American, I got a little bit of a pass of being able to just speak futsu Japanese and not having to be so teine all the time. But I see it with some of the newer Japanese go-go boys in the kohai, where a senpai gets mad that they didn't, they didn't use keigo, or they didn't talk with them in a certain way, and things like that. So I've seen that those faux pas happen with other Japanese go-go's. Other cultural things is just how we interact with guests and how we present ourselves in front of customers and how we present ourselves in front of organizers. I feel like I'm much more extroverted and very outgoing. I like, you know, in my free time, when I'm not on the stage performing, I'll go on the dance floor. I might dance myself just for fun or interact with guests. And some of the Gogo Boys are like, you're not being paid to be out there, so just stay in the back.
Yeah.
And so there's like a slight cultural difference in that it could be viewed negatively or positively depending. Some of the things that I feel is like culturally appropriate may not be culturally appropriate. Like back in the day, you know, we could go to a party like Avalon, we'd be on the dance floor and we'd take off our shirt and it's fine.
Yeah.
But now as
They're
a
like,
Gogo,
don't give out
you can't
free.
give
Don't get
out
free.
Yeah. You're no
Yeah.
longer free.
Put that nipple away.
I had a senpai tell me, Sai, you're a Gogo now. Your body is worth more.
Yeah.
Don't give it out for free. So the cultural difference is quite difficult.
So, you know, like a lot of people asking us, like, where should I go when I'm in Japan, right? Like, which club, which like gay event is like the most worthy ones? If from your professional point of view, what are the 5 must-to-go parties?
Obviously, if we're just talking about the general, like, kind of, you want to meet some very cute men, you want to have good music and good DJs, and you want to dance like a stereotypical gay party. We have Discover, which is one of our larger gay events that happens about 3 times a year.
It's a Golden Week and like
on different
Discover.
holidays. Yep. So that's very fun. We have Avalon, which is also really big. It's also held in Shibuya. It's like 3 floors, and the nice thing about Avalon is that the concept changes a lot. So we always have one floor that's like typical Gogo, and then the other 2 floors themes change. And so the last one was a K-pop event. Sometimes we have an event called Black Friday on one, which is like very hip-hop R&B. And so it's good to kind of like change it up a little bit. It's a bit bigger. Vita is another really big one that you guys have had. And I think you featured on a show.
Yeah.
They host pool parties. They host regular like dance party. Vita, I would say, of those 3 so far, is the most diverse in terms of cast as well as clientele. A lot of female members also go to Vita, and like that umbrella of Vita, not just Vita, but they have like the tea dance party and stuff like that. It's one of the events that also premieres, you know, transgendered and female Gogos as well, and so it's very diverse.
That's true.
So that one's really nice. We do have a new event coming up called Sinland, which I hope will be very successful, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's supposed to be one of the bigger ones. So I'm giving my recommendation that I think is going to be really, really good. And it's something that we haven't had. I don't think we've had a party of this kind since like Ageha days.
Yes, for sure.
I think Discover is pretty close. And I think Discover and
Avalon as well?
Sinland are of like similar
caliber,
you know, like size maybe. It's not as big as Ageha because of the venue space, but I think in terms of fun, I would definitely recommend. And then the last one I would say, it's just any of the Nichome gay events. They're just so like the ones that are hosted at Isotope. A lot are always so popular, and the themes and the concepts change a lot. So it's not a big event, it's more of a regular event. But Isotope hosts so many different varieties, some for lesbians, some for men's only, some erotic ones, some campy ones, and fun ones. So just those events in general, Isotope hosts.
I actually never been to Discover. I should
Really?
go.
Oh, you would like Discover.
You've
Really?
never been to Discover?
I've never been to Discover.
I think you'd like it.
There's one in September.
Yeah.
I should go there. Yeah.
Do you get to a point where you're seeing the same faces in the front row at certain events over and over again, to the point where you're like, oh,
You have your hardcore fans.
Yeah. And like, do they bring like little, not just tips, but like presents or something?
Do they
to
lick
you?
your eyeballs?
Who licked someone's eyeball?
That happened.
What?
Yes. Somebody licked my eyeball in one of the clubs, and
That's too far, guys. Too far.
That's a no-no.
Were they trying to give you money at the same time? They just went him up.
Nope. I was just walking through the crowd, and the guy grabbed me, and I think it was an attempt at like a kiss, and it ended up being like straight in the eye, and like the tongue went in.
Like got in the crack in here.
Oh my god.
But no, we definitely every Gogo has a
legion of
some
fans.
diehard fans,
Yeah.
and we have some fantastic fans that will travel and follow us to different events. I've had fans that live here in Tokyo, and if I'm booked in Nagoya or Okinawa, they'll like fly or travel there and come see my show. And we have a lot of regular fans who make their rounds. Like I can see on their Instagram, they post a schedule. It's like from 11 to 11:15 is the Gogo show at this club, and from 12 to 12:15 I'm gonna go to this club for this Gogo show because my other favorite Gogo Boy is performing there. And like you do have a lot of regulars, and you get to know them really well, and those customers we definitely really appreciate because those are also the customers that usually take a lot of pictures, and they usually tip us really well, and they show a lot of appreciation. Sometimes we receive gifts. We have some fans that may not be as diehard as that and follow us to every show, but they make themselves known because they make like cute little envelopes, and I have one that always folds my money in a cute little origami envelope and puts like a cute little sticker and a note with like an ink seal on it, and like gives it every single time I get a tip. And so like it's very cute, and it's a good easy way to stand out too. Yeah.
And you remember their name. Actually, you have with your like the idol groups like in Japan, they know their diehard like fan groups, like a fan member's name, right? Like do you also do that as well?
We know a lot of, if they are regulars at Gogo events and they make an effort to introduce themselves and talk to you and like on a regular basis, we do get to know their names, and we do get to know them on a personal basis. Some Gogos even go as far as like grabbing lunch or something with some of their fans.
I can't do that.
No, I just feel really bad now because I see you guys at events and I'm like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not on camera.
Sorry. Some do, but there are a lot of fans whose names we don't know, who maybe we have seen like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 times, and we still don't know their name, right? We might recognize their face, and we'd be like, oh, I remember you from this event, but we don't know them by name. And so as a customer, I would highly recommend just making sure you don't get offended per se if a Gogo Boy doesn't remember your name or doesn't remember who you are, because you got to understand that, in a club, we get like 200, 300, 400 customers, and we interact with like 70 different people, and we have to meet new people along with the old people, and there's so many people that it is hard to just keep track of everybody. And so even if we do just recognize your name or your face and not your name, that it's not a personal thing. It's just that usually we haven't spent a whole bunch of time together for us to get to know your name. And there are some customers where I feel really bad. I've had to ask their name like 5, 6 times. I mean, and I'm just bad at names in general.
So what about rivals? Yuhi?
No, those are rivals.
No,
those are rivals.
Rival. It's very Britney Christina. It's like social media pushing them against each other, and then in the end of the day, they don't.
Japanese rival and English rival are very different, right? Like when we say rivals in English, it has this very almost like challenging kind of negative concept. But to Japanese people, the term rival could just mean like someone who
debuted
you are
same
like
time,
not competing with, but like
same space,
on par
on
with
the same par, on the same par with one another. Obviously, the debut year is a big thing, just like age culture is kind of a thing in Japan, right? So we're like, oh, so the Gogos who debut this year are kind of like lumped into this one group, right? And the ones the following year are your cool highs and so forth. And so, like in terms of rivals, he is one of my closest friends amongst the Gogos. Is Yuhi. Yuhi is a great friend of mine. We do go get dinner together. We hang out together privately. We've gone on trips together, and things like that. But in the Japanese sense, he is like my rival. We both debut in the same year, and I'm always super impressed by his dancing ability and his ability to interact with customers and make fans. And I'm not gonna say I'm jealous of Yuhi. I'm very like proud of Yuhi and all the things that he's done, and I hope to take some of the skills that he has and be able to apply it to myself. And I do compare myself to him in that
It's like
way.
friends pushing each other.
That could be like a rival thing, instead of pushing each other.
But we both support each other really well.
But there's a way to set the score. Yuhi was always also on our channel before. Let's see who got
the most views. Comment below, better send us all your friends.
and I are very similar actually, because like not only do we debut the same year, we're also one of the few Gogos that both speak Japanese and English. I've heard, you know, your comment about the dancing and that he's also
he's a good dancer.
Fantastic
Yeah, great dancer.
Right? And so I feel that we both put on pretty good performances on the stage.
Yeah.
Our body type, our personality type, there's a lot of similarities between us two.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for us to kind of compare to one another. But we are such good friends that like every time I see him getting a booking in like Taiwan, I'm like, yes, you better work. I text him and I always watch his videos and I always cheer him on when I see him performing overseas. And I know he's super successful and I'm always so proud of him.
I want to say something shady about Yuki though. Like Yuki is an amazing dancer, but when you put him with other Gogo boys, Japanese Gogo boys together, like it seems weird.
He outdances
because all dance
he outdances
so much.
us. Yeah.
That's his two
He'd
guys
do it,
where he stands out.
And then everyone else is just kind of like.
So that's always like, yes.
That's true.
But he's coming for my gig. He's recently started dancing for K-pop, and I'm like, no, that's my
Oh, you're gonna keep your territory.
Get away,
I see you
doing
doing those
for my gig.
K-pop Instagram reels.
Just do it together.
Yeah, just do a collaboration.
We have
Push
yet
each
to
other.
do an Instagram reel together.
There you go.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cute.
Yeah.
Like twice, right? Is your favorite?
Twice new jeans.
Yeah, new jeans.
Super
shy. Do it together.
I just remembered.
TT.
Do you think that, because like in idol culture here, it's like the goal is to pretend that you're consistently single so that you can give that image that the fans have a chance. What do you think Gogo life is like in regard to that? Like, are you encouraged to keep that image up? Yes, right? So how does that work then when, you know, you are seen on Grindr or you have a boyfriend or something like that? Do you ever get told off, like you shouldn't make that public, or do fans get upset at you?
No, I mean, seeing us on dating and social dating apps like Nine Monsters or Grindr, that's not necessarily a bad image.
Because fans think that they have a chance.
Because that tells us then everyone that
They're
hey,
single.
We're
They're single.
We're single,
Yeah.
so that's not bad
Okay.
at all. We are warned that you should probably maintain an image of being single if you are in a relationship. But fortunately for everyone out there, most of the Gogo Boys are single. And a lot of the Gogo Boys do want relationships.
Why is that?
So this is it. Now I'm going to throw you under the bus. So in the first episode of our review for The Boyfriend, Meng says that he thinks, he's like, oh, I think Yusak's going to not make any connection because Gogo Boys tend to be emotionally unavailable. Thoughts?
Well, a lot of Gogo Boys are emotionally available.
Are not?
Are emotionally available. I think it's just really hard dating a Gogo Boy. I think that's just it.
Why don't you date each other then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you did.
I did. I did. Yes, I did. But
How'd that work out? Yeah.
I'm single now. No, I mean, there are some Gogos that end up dating other Gogos.
Yeah.
And that does exist and that has happened. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Some of the difficulties may come in like rivalry where they get jealous with each other. If one Gogo is more successful than the other, it might just simply be just maintaining appearance that becomes difficult, or it becomes creating this like image of always, okay, well now these two are a couple, now they have to be essentially booked together all the time, or they're like a package deal. That can be a difficult thing for Gogos, and those kind of niche challenges may prevent a Gogo from dating another Gogo. But dating a Gogo in general is hard because the nightlife is hard. You work until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't handle the Gogo Boys having to flirt with other guests and having to interact in that kind of environment. Schedule's hard. Seeing your Gogo boyfriend up on stage performing and all these people, idolizing that person can be really hard on most people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want that kind of attention of being, oh, I'm Gogo so-and-so's boyfriend, of having to be put next to that kind of idol. So that can be hard. In terms of the emotional availability.
Okay, let me say my reason first.
Okay.
Otherwise, give you the
Okay.
full picture.
Let me drink some
Let's just drink our tea now.
Look at your body, right? It's amazing. Like, even like Yusaku on the show, he's like fucking drinking that like disgusting breast,
the chicken
chicken
shake.
breast. And today, this guy at our like at Andrew's house, he has how many protein like shake you?
There's
you
still
finished?
more in here.
There's so many. I was like, how many do you need? And he was eating like the protein sticks as well.
Did you have more in there? Yeah, probably
Yeah,
has.
I have
Probably
like 2
has
more chicken
Probably
sticks
has-
in there.
Probably
And-
has some
And
more.
some energy jellies.
Yeah. And how many times do you go for gyms? Like every single week?
It's in
I
there.
go like 5-6 days.
See, like you have to be such a disciplined person to keep this body, and I just don't think, like I don't want to say narcissism, but I just want to say like you put yourself first compared to like in a lot of you're literally drinking it. Like compared to like in many cases, I feel like for a lover relationship, you need to put other before you, and that's what I think. Why I say like Gogo is unavailable emotionally, because I feel like they can put other people first before themselves. What do you think?
So
Bullshit.
my personal opinion
Yeah.
is that body maintenance is just like body maintenance is the job for go-going. The
Yeah.
go-going is not just the 15 minute showtimes are on that stage. And the go-go job itself, part of it is body maintenance, right? And so like just like your regular non-go-go partner will have to go to work and may sometimes have to sit at home on their laptop and work for like an hour and a half. That's us going to the gym for an hour and a half. And that's just part of the job. And it's not necessarily like putting ourselves first. It's more focused on the work rather than ourselves, in my opinion.
I see.
So it's about the job. Do half shots.
Yeah, we have our shots here. We have our shot
my
glasses
God.
here. Yeah, we can do half shots. Okay, okay, okay.
It's only for him.
Okay,
We're
okay,
not
fine.
drinking.
We're gonna go. We'll
Okay.
just go for it.
Go for it. Go
So,
for it.
where's the strangest place you've had sex?
Where's the strangest place?
Must be pretty strange.
Protect the Gogo image.
Yeah, protect that Gogo image.
Half shots. I don't know how many questions there are.
Do it, go for it.
Cheers.
So I'm gonna ask Andrew Ray.
Okay.
What's the sex skill you're most proud of?
Hold on. I don't know if I'm good at sex. I don't know what my best skill is.
I like how he's drinking because he doesn't know.
No, because he's the one answer.
What's the messiest thing you've ever done sexually?
Messy?
I feel like you're gonna go for a drink.
Good question.
I think like you're gonna go for a drink with that.
Should I get it?
No,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Get it ready?
Messy. I don't know if it's very messy or not, but like I have a thing for liquid.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Are we interpreting that? As,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just use
Like-
it.
Yeah, I
around
have
the
a
back.
thing
Think
for this is not gonna be, because we want to keep it under 18 safe. But like I like to lick people's and also like let them like we're
This is the part where it goes beep.
I like to
beep beep beep. I have a thing for liquid.